All right, we're just going to go through a short interaction and learning in Business Rendezvous today. I think this is going to be a segment every Friday from now. And I have Benedict Ochago with me. And we're going to be talking about getting and keeping the right employees, because we promised last week we're going to complete this discussion. We didn't finish it last week.
Yeah.
So now for an employer, you mentioned last week that you need the right employees for your business to thrive. So how do you get the right people to work with you? How do you look out for them? Because in Nigeria, when we're looking for jobs, the first question is, you get person for there.
Yeah.
So what should we employers be looking for when getting their employees?
All right. Funny enough, I would like to start this way. If you are looking for employees, you must first of all be the right employer to look for the right employee. Okay. That is how it works. It's a universal law of attraction. And when I say being the right employer to be able to get the right employee, is such that what is your culture? Do you have culture as an employer? Because culture has to do with value, your values. Culture has to do with your needs, what your aspirations, your motivations as a business owner. Those are the things you have to look at. And then when you have considered that for yourself, and then you will now begin to look for the right people that will fit into. But if you don't have the right culture as an employer, then it will be perhaps easier for you to get a woman that doesn't like gifts than getting the right employer. Yeah, I know you will smile at that. So the right employee. So now, what we need to look at first of all is, if you have considered yourself, your culture, what you need, and all of that, then you now begin to look at the team. Now, and looking at the team, you did mention in the intro that, do you know somebody there? That will be scrapped out. Now, when you have looked at the culture, you now have to look at the competence, because the right employees are everywhere. But also, there is a price that you must pay to get the right employees. That's why I like to start with the employers first of all. Because if you must get the right employee, you must be able to pay the right price for that right employee. It's not just about getting the right people. It's not just about getting individuals. It's about you looking for the hands. Number one, the talented people, looking for the people. And not just basing on CV, it's about capacity, about what people can do. And so when you maybe put out the information out there that you need employees, when they come with their CVs, with their identities and all of that, and what you need to look out is personality during the interview. And those personality must be in tandem with your culture, for the culture for your business or for your company. That is it. Now, and then when you are interviewing, you must be psychological enough to be able to get answers from those that the prospective employees, answers beyond what they are saying. That is where psychology, that is why instinct comes in. And then when they talk, you compare, this is our culture, this is what we are looking at, this is our aspiration, this is our drive. The thing this person is providing,
does it fit in?
Does it fit in? What he's telling us and his output level, does it fit in? And then again, you have to also go beyond there. Maybe check that person's antecedents, maybe get to the places where the person has worked before, or the reference and all of that, to be able to check and to be able to ascertain. Although in our society today, when somebody leaves a particular company, you hardly get a reference from the company where he or she is coming from. But that is a very good way. If we live in a society that is open-minded, it's a very good way to actually know the antecedents of this person, if this person will actually fit in. Because I used to say something, I said something that one of the problems with young people, maybe in business or as an employee, you want to work in a big company or you want to own a big business, and you feel one day you will just jump in. No, it doesn't work that way. You must create a track record of trustworthiness. And young people does not consider that. You live your life on the street where you live, you don't respect anybody, and anybody, two things, you just have a small deal with somebody, you always want to to have your way, to cheat people and all of that. You didn't know that you are already creating a very wrong trajectory and all of that. So what the young people need is trust. So you must be able to check the trust level of that employee. The trust is not just about whether he will steal your money or steal your resources. It's about whether he can actually deliver on the job. And his ability to work with other individuals. There are people that are very toxic.
Yeah.
And all of that. And every corporation needs a team. And to be able to have a team, you must have people that are less toxic. People will offend each other. That's why even in trying to get, sometimes you try to work on the psyche, whether they are short fuse, their temperament level, and all of that. Those are all of the things that are needed to be put into consideration. But in all of that, capacity is very, very important.
Okay. Because
you may have people that have good intention, but they don't have capacity to deliver. And over time, you will discover that your goal, you might have designed a good culture for your company as an employer. You might have been ready to pay the price. But over time, you discover that the team working with you are not able to deliver on that goal because your process of hiring was not based on high-level performance, on competence level. It was maybe based on, like you said, you know this, you don't know this, and you don't know this. But every wise businessman that wants to take his business from one level to another knows that in hiring, you must endeavor to hire somebody who will deliver on the job. You don't necessarily, sometimes the funny thing about the system is that even the individual, if you have been able to build a system for your business, you don't necessarily need to even so much like that person as an individual. No, that is what makes businesses. I've worked with some big business people, even worked around people like Dangote and the company, Dangote company and all of that. One of the things I noticed is that he is so detribalized, actually. He doesn't look at tribe. He doesn't look at, what he looks at for is, can this person do the job? You don't need to like the tribe where the person is coming from. You don't need to like the person as an individual per se. But the system needs this person. And if this person comes into this system, the system will do better. And at the end, it will be said that so and so company does better and all of that. And at the end, you will make more money.
Which is the
you will grow, which is the goal. And you will grow, your company will also grow in terms of interfacing. There are people that when they come out and they go for maybe a kind of business consultation for your company, they don't go and come back as a failure. Those are the things. You may not like them, but when they go, they deliver. And they bring the result. That is it. And so when you are trying to hire the employee, those are the things you put into consideration first of all. You must put self aside and put your business at the front burner.
Okay, now when some of these good employees come, and a major issue most of these employers seem to be facing at this time, there are some companies, quite a few, where people have worked 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, and they still stay. Yeah. But you still see the newer ones, the younger ones, hopping from one place to another. They're here this year, 3 years' time, they're out. So what's the reason for this consistent and continuous quitting, especially amongst the lower staff?
All right. The truth is that there is a trend in our society today that is a very dangerous one. Every young man wants to make money, but they don't want to engage in enterprise. But they want quick wealth without enterprise. Everybody, when you want to, that's another thing you look at, when you want to employ a new staff, he's not looking for prospect. He's not looking for building himself. What he's looking is how much, first of all, which is very, very important. And then he asks again, will I be able to be getting side? Everything is just about money, money, money. Capacity building, learning is no longer. And so when he comes in, and he sees that this money is not coming in like that. He does not want to stay. He comes and looks at the older staff. Maybe he makes inquiry, how much is this one being paid? How much is that being paid? And then he looks at what I'm paying. And then he or she does not put into cognizance the fact that how many years that person has put in, the sacrifices that person has made. He's not putting into cognizance of maybe if I stay, I will be able to carve a niche for myself. And in one day, I will be like that person, or even be better than that person. Young people does not want to do that. That also accounts to when you go to where the workshop and all of that, you hardly see apprentices anymore. everybody wants it sharp, sharp. Nobody wants to stay. I was in Lagos some years, I think that in 2016, looking for a job. And I met a man in the company and who told me that, he said, look, he was just telling to us, he said, look, there is nobody that jumps from one place to another every year looking for a job, a new job, that is always a rich man. He said, go and look. And truly, you can never be a manager in a company if you're always jumping from one. No. Even if you are going to come in as a manager, as a consultant manager, you must have worked and created a track record of consistency with a particular firm, a particular setup. That patience is required. That patience is required. Do you think that, for example, those from the Southeast, somebody would just carry his bag and go and serve somebody for 7 years? For example, it's not foolishness, because that is needed. And of course, in all of the cycle, you discover that riches is being expanded among them. You serve your 7 years, you go, you carry other your younger ones, and you see that communal engagement actually makes them wealthy people as an ethnic group. Yeah. You understand? As an ethnic group, they are the wealthy. That is it. Because of that patience level and all of that, they are ready to serve, they are ready to wait for their time and be able to make the big money when it comes.
Interesting. Okay, this is where we're going to draw it curtain today. Next week, Friday, for those who want to continue learning, you will have to wait till next Friday and tune in, okay? Because there's also the issue of quitting. How should you even resign from your job if you want to go? Yes. And there's a silent quitting people just do, they just disappear. You know, not
minding the effects of whether, and they are creating a very wrong trajectory
for themselves and even those who are below them in the office. Well, these and more we'll talk about next week Friday on Business Rendezvous. Thank you, Benedict Ochago, for being with me. He's a business analyst and he will be here again. We'll go on a break to give way for the news update at this time. When we return from the news, Business Rendezvous, the concluding part of the program Business Rendezvous, will be hitting your screen.